This is an open letter to my pink skin friends, of which I have many over the years. Many, for short time, we were friends. Uh, Here's the thing, I'm not Minister Farrakhan. I love you guys. I am not Minister Farrakhan or have any ideas as such. Uh, no, you're not the devil. Nobody's the devil. We don't have devil on earth. We don't have bad people on earth. We don't have good people on earth. You are what you are. You're a force of nature. Just like, you know, you are what you are. And what that is aggressive. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Uh, it, I mean, let me put it this way. That's the king of the Zulus. The king of the Zulus was the king of the Zulus for thousands of years in that little end corner of Africa for n thousands of years, and they actually never, there is no Zulu outpost in South Pole. I mean, they're close, and they're as close as the British are to the Spain is the distance between the tip of Africa and Antarctica. Maybe, I'm not sure though. But it is close. It's closer than, let's say, the British after the Pinkskins, after, I don't know if it was the British, but the Pinkskins, one of the Europeans, after they, came and settled at the tip of Africa, in South Africa, after that they went and, explored farther and established a station in South Pole. So it's much, the distance between the king of the Zulu and the South Pole was much shorter than the distance between, the British Islands or the French and the South Pole. These guys didn't go, and those guys went. So I'm not. This aggressiveness is important in life, and you guys, the Pinkskins, have it in bundles. Smart and aggressive. Good for you. Good for us as humans on on planet Earth. Well, good for us. Here's the kicker. As I said, you're a tool that is aggressive and smart. If the right tool in the right hands makes for a very productive situation. It's just that your leaders, whenever they were good things happened, and then when your leaders were bad things happened. Whatever happened, you were on the front line. You, my pink skin friends, you were on the front line. Whatever happened, war happened, you were on the front line. We went to the moon. Humanity went to the moon. You were on the front line. Yes, there were the black ladies who did the calculations. With all due respect, yes, I am sorry, but the point is the whole drive of let's go over there. You have to go to space. That was a pink idea. Just as the Zulu king never decided to go to South Pole and explore farther, didn't see any reason to, and that's not necessarily bad. This is what I'm saying, that I'm not a racist. I'm just recognizing that who is good at what. Who is good at what? In here you have the idea that the pink skin is aggressive and smart, and then you have the idea of the black folks, black skin is all heart and soul. It's just heart and soul. How I know this is because, if you are If you have an issue, you're in a situation and you need help, go to a black guy, black people, black woman, or a black guy, or whatever. Usually, if there is within their power, they do. Because you're in a jam, especially, they even, black people even help just because. They just help just because. It's like, yeah, and if they can, they give. And that's just heart and soul. So there's a lot of cognitive intelligence here, and there is a lot of emotional intelligence there. Emotional intelligence and physical intelligence. So, and the point is this: we all have our traits. It's just that your particular trait of pink skins, which I believe, I might be wrong. Who the fuck am I? But this is what I concluded, that you're a little aggressive and smart. The Orientals, the yellow skins, if they have what they need, they're not very aggressive. Or else we would have had Chinese colonies in Americas instead of pink colonies in Americas. The Chinese keep to themselves. They're not aggressive if they don't have to be in defense. So the whole idea was that these other guys, they all have their own traits, and the pink skins, you guys have your own trait. I love you, but this aggressiveness and this paranoia has to be put to good use. Example, what I mean by good use, that is, President Kennedy came and said we have to go to space. We have to colonize space. He was, a little enlightened and young, enlightened, and he decided that why do we want to go colonize shitholes that we already colonized, or our ancestors from Europe colonized? Why do we want to go there? Let's try to, stay out of that shit and go to colonize Moon and Mars. That was Kennedy. They shot him, and the guy got in his place, Lyndon B. Johnson. He was like, no, forget about Moon. Why do we want to Moon? This motherfucking mom, I want to kick some fucking Vietnamese ass. Because I got a big penis. I need to prove it. So instead of colonizing your productivity, the pink skin brain and productivity was taken away from space and pointed towards the inhabitants of Earth. Folks, Moon and Mars, there are no inhabitants there. You don't need to deal with shitholes. These shitholes have been living next to each other for thousands of years. The United States mission in life should be a different thing. Colonizing space, being at the tip of, innovation. That's the job of the United States, which has gathered all the brains in the world there in Silicon Valley. Your job is to go up, colonize places that at least they're not inhabited by the inhabitants of this planet. You see what I'm saying? Leave the inhabitants of this planet alone and let's go colonize space. And the corporations should be fine with that too, because much less hassle in space. You don't have to deal with this fucking locals, stupid locals. You can keep the locals the way they are. They can stay the way they are, and they would be good subjects for your students to go and study them in their own natural habitats. You see, keep the shit the way they are, it is, and then you can go and study them. Like you study different creatures in their natural habitats. You can actually, study them in courses in universities. Study their history, study their art, and some of it has been done. But I'm trying to say is, if you need make money, because all the resources you need is present in space. If you need making money and you need resources to produce and make money, space. All the whatever you can find on land, you can find in space, on moon, because we are all from the same kind of dust that was circling in this area of the circle around the sun before it clumped together and formed these planets. That clump is more or less the same. The same, you can find the same minerals that you find on Earth, you can find on Mars. And on moon especially. So your aggressiveness and your paranoia and your planning and executing, beautiful planning and executing of pink skins has to be put to good use. And the good use is going somewhere that is not inhabited by the inhabitants of this planet. Oh, it has its own flora and fauna. Go at it. This planet is just. I think we should leave each other alone. I mean, it's not necessary for one area of the planet Earth to dictate to another area of the planet Earth what kind of order they should keep. As long as it's orderly, it's fine. Now, you can tell them that, hey, keep the order there, but whoever you don't want, you can send them over here. Keep the order there. Whoever you don't want or they don't want you be there or you don't want, believe me, if order is there, if security and stability is there, which order brings security and stability, if trade is there, order is there, with this, the bulk of the population of whatever country that is, bulk of the population doesn't want to move out. The numbers that you're seeing is the numbers of like half of Honduras is living in the United States, half of Nicaragua is living in the United States. This only happens when there is no security and stability there. Food security and shelter security and education security and health security. When these things are not there, and these guys have seen that these things can be there. Here's the difference between 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and now. The difference is the mobile phone. They can see that order can be, water can come out of the faucet. They have seen it. Beside the fact, their cousins have come back and told them that they have seen that police can keep some kind of order, but because of so many years of disorder created by, I don't know, maybe CIA, disorder has been created because such and such a local leader was not approved by us. Well, but us, I mean, who the fuck am I? I'm nobody. I'm an alien. But the whole point is this. Why? You guys need good leaders. My pink-skinned friends, you're brilliant people, but without good leaders that point you to the right direction, instead of squabbling here on Earth with these shit heads, the United States could have had like a couple of space stations by now, a couple of stations on Moon, maybe a couple of stations on Mars. It could have been done since 1969, which was the moon landing. I think, I'm not, 72, whatever it was. It was way back when. It was black and white. Fuck. So this is a lost opportunity. we have been squabbling here with, little different tribes of different races of different corners of planet Earth because we decided we don't like the way they run themselves. The way they run themselves, we don't appreciate it. I'm sorry, this is the Belgians saying this, whom killed, I believe I read something like 10 million of people of Congo was literally slaughtered 10 million. I think I read this number 10 million. Don't hold me to it. Maybe it was 2 million, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 million. Over the years, the whole process, King something of Belgium, over the period of how many years? About 10 million. 10 million. About 10 million Belgians had died over the period of how many years? Whatever, I don't remember. But these guys now talk of human rights, or we don't agree with those local governments because they're not, they're not, they're bad people. They're every time they come with new words, insurgents, and they're bad people. It's like, dude, to your standards, maybe they're bad people. To my standards, they're bad people. That's why I'm not there, because they're shitty people with a shitty government. But they're okay with it. You don't let them eat. They're okay with it, or they will change. Whether they're okay with it or they will change, it's the local issue. The day they don't want to, they want to have, not the day, but why does it have to be a drastic change? Why can't it be changed over time? It will be changed over time. Here's the thing. Even when the change is drastic, like the Ataturk in Turkey, even when the change is drastic, if the society hasn't evolved in a time, on its own timeline, it will revert back. If a society has not evolved on its own timeline, from one stage to another stage, from a backward stage to a modern stage to a postmodern stage to whatever you want to, wherever you want to take this, the society takes its own time, has its own time scale of evolution. Just like, from feudalism and kings and queens, we moved on to, republics, and then it has to follow its own timeline. You cannot force change on a society, because you can long-term change on a society. On the short term, you can change it and make it bend it however you want. But in the long run, it has to take its own time scale. So if the society is at this point, is in this time, it is like this, it is like this. It accepts this system, wants to be religious. At that time, wanted to be religious. Mostly wanted to be religious. They're still all fucking religious. But what I'm trying to point out is, let them be. Fuck them. Not fuck them in a terms that, here's the thing. There are still a few tribes left in the Amazon rainforest that haven't been touched by other humans. They have their own area of the forest that they go back and forth, and that's it. They don't want to come in contact with anybody else because they're afraid. So it's like a couple of families together have formed a tribe, and they don't want to change their way of life. They don't want to change their way of life, so they stay away from other tribes, other families, white, green, brown. I'm sure they know there are others because they're living in the forest. I'm sure they've seen planes. They could go search and find, see if where others are, but they don't want to. They want to keep what they have because they're afraid. The answer to this, that the answer to their fear is not that no, we're coming in, you motherfuckers are going to be eating out of a plate tomorrow morning. You motherfuckers gotta shit in the toilet, you cannot shit in the stream, you have to shit in the toilet. Here's the thing, you can do that, but why? What's the point? Eventually, if they want, they join. They don't want, let them be. In fact, if they do decide to join, they do the right thing, and a couple of intellectuals from universities get together and go and try to take notes. So they can later on refer to and write the paper on it. That's what needs to be done with cultures, societies that are more primitive than yours, my pink-skinned friends. Study them, not try to change them, make them like yourself. It's like the pretense is we are there to make them like us. They have to look like us. Oh fuck! I was looking at a National Geographic article the other day. It's like there's still some tribes in Africa that they have contact but barely with other tribes. Even forget about central governments. We have to go straighten all of them out. They have to bring democracy. I saw the picture of this tribe. They were doing their tribal dance, and I was thinking to myself, does who in the machinery of Uncle Sam's machinery of governance, who decides that it's a good idea to go over there and who in that machinery of Uncle Sam, who looks at the tribal African tribe in their dancing routine, doing their dancing routine, who in Uncle Sam's machinery looks at that and says, we need to bring democracy to these motherfuckers. We have to bring democracy to these guys. Who sees a tribal African dance and says, yep, democracy. This reminds me of democracy. Who looks at Africa and thinks democracy? I mean, most of the countries, there's their tribal mentality, that they're collectivist, they're thinking collective. They don't have individuals in tribes. There are no individual in tribes. In the wolf pack, which is a tribe, in a wolf pack, I believe this is the case, there is the alpha male and the alpha female reproduce. The rest of there are usually 10, 20 members in the wolf pack. One pair reproduces, I believe. Between wolves and jackals, between the two I'm a little fuzzy, but I think it's the wolves. One pair reproduces. Anyway, one of these group pack animals their system is like this. The alpha male and the alpha female reproduce. The rest of them watch each other. They don't reproduce. And my point is this, even reproduction in a tribe, even reproduction is not a given. You only reproduce if you can do this, they jump through this hoop, this hoop, this hoop, this hoop. So the whole idea that individual counts in a tribe and individualism can be applied in a tribe, and yes, these individuals have the right to determine their fate, and here is a vote here. It doesn't work in the tribal systems. In systems that are in societies that are mentality is still tribal, democracy will never work. Democracy, assuming bees live for a couple of years, I mean, relatively speaking, you can the bee colony cannot say we're going to elect a new king every 4 months. They live for 22-3 years, so it's like every 4 months or every 2 months the beehive has an election and elects a new queen. It doesn't happen in collective societies that you have one person in charge at the top, and they don't change it. It's a collective society. They recognize the queen, and the queen is there, king, whatever. So the idea that we need to bring the democratic form of government to every little tribe everywhere in the world is as crazy as telling to yourself that we have to go meet that that Amazonian tribe that doesn't want to have contact. We have to go have contact, bring him in to the city and sit him on top of a toilet because he has to shit in the toilet and not in the forest. It's crazy. The whole thing is crazy. The aggressiveness and the paranoia and of the white folks, the pink skin is being wasted on this planet. This is being wasted in domination of other areas of this planet. Send your professors to those areas of this planet to study those primitive cultures. This is like prime example of you don't have to study it in the book. You can go take your class over there and live in that primitive society and study it on location, instead of going bombing that location because you don't agree with the way they you don't agree with their order that they have created. Let them be. My pink-skinned friends, please, space. You're great people. You're a great tool for humanity on planet Earth. You're a great asset. The pink-skinned folks are great assets for humanity on planet Earth because of their aggressiveness and paranoia. So, but please, you have to pick good leaders which direct you at space and not towards other corners of this planet. Space, folks. God save Elon Musk. Thank God for that.